Welcome to Maximal Being,
a podcast devoted to ditching fad diets and using real science to get you healthy and feeling great.
I'm Doc a GI and functional medicine doctor who harnesses the power of gut health to get you achieving your goals.
And I'm Jacky P, a well-informed layman who challenges the experts and asks the questions that you want.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button or leave a comment.
And now, on to the show.
What's going on? Maximal Being's thedocmok here with maximalbeing.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment. It does help us to get the word out. If you have any questions, you can email us at team@maximalbeing.com. Enjoy the episode.
Hello, Maximal Beings. Welcome back. It is episode number, I don't know, and
1 million.
1,000,000.
We invented podcasting here.
Yeah. We are the only people still podcasting. Yes, we did it. For those of you listening for the first time, it is I, Jacky P, your favorite layman. And it's a special day today. It's just us, which excites me. I love our hosts, our guests. Our guests are always awesome, interesting people.
Yeah.
But, I love the one-on-one time with you, Docmok. I really do.
Me too. I miss this quality time.
Yeah. So, Docmok, talk to me. How are you feeling today? You told me, little man had a little of a milestone today. So yeah, walk me through that. But first, let's check in. How are you holding up?
I'm doing great. Today is the first day that Colin, my son, decided that he wanted to roll over, which is like the best and worst moment at the same time. It means that you're like, he's exploring this other part of the universe, which is so cool and developing as a human being. But now he's going to be sleeping on his face, which is like, the doctor, all the things about that. It's crazy.
I would say also, thinking about you and your do you hear that? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I heard it. I think it's on my end.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. That's weird.
Sorry about that. But thinking about you and, like your family, right? You and Kate are like these extremely smart people in the medical field, right? And I can imagine, just because you've seen so many possibilities out there with kids, like what side of the spectrum are you? Are you, oh, you know what? I've seen this all before, or since you know what's possible, you're even more stressed out about it. Like, how does that work for you?
Yeah. I think that we are the least stressed out people in terms of the spectrum.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah, because I mean, Ashley is a teacher, early child educator, well educated in that field, and she's seen, especially through her career, students of her own have different things. And I would say, although I'll give her credit, she's much more calm, cool, collected than someone who's seen a lot of the things. Sometimes she does go into that field and like, oh man, something would happen with Quinn. And then she's like, oh man, this might be XYZ. I'm like, well, this is probably rare. And it's probably not that. It's probably just a cold.
Yeah,
possibly. We'll start there. We'll start with the basics first.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I feel like navigating a cold is definitely one of those situations that, like, as a healthcare provider, you feel so dichotomous about. Especially, I feel like all of us took a side over the last several years, right, with COVID-19. So, we had a recent situation where the family member came and they were sick, right, and he was not sick. And in that case, it's like, well, I don't want my tiny little child to be exposed to whatever you're bringing in. So let's just be cautious about that, like social distancing, be outside, masking, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But in the situation where it's like, he's sick and he's fine and smiling, it's like, the kid's fine. Like, I'm not worried about this kid. I don't need to run to the emergency department. And I honestly, like Jacky, going into being a dad, I wondered if I was going to be that way as a parent. Like, was I going to be the ultra cautious, like, I've seen it all, so I'm going to think about those bad things? But it's It's been the opposite, surprisingly. And I don't know if it's because I'm like an old man parent here or not, but I just feel surprisingly very calm. And also our kid is very calm. So it kind of all just sinks together, if that makes sense.
That's awesome. And I'm very excited. Also, I probably should have said this 5 minutes ago, but I don't know when this episode's going to be, but this is a little Father's Day conversation that Doc Mock and I are going to have, because my son is 4, almost 4.5. Oh, how old is Colin?
He's almost 4 months. Yeah.
Almost 4 months.
There's another good 4 in there.
It's another good 4.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we never interview each other. So I just want to take some time before we get into the Shamagram. The Shamagram is coming, folks. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But as a special Father's Day,
are Sham.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. It's mostly Sham and some Gram, but we'll get to that. You never know. We might be surprised. We don't look at the videos beforehand. So
that's right.
But yeah, so this is just for the fathers out there. And of course, I don't think I'm some sort of a grizzled veteran. My son's 4, almost 4.5. But I thought it'd be fun to ask you, Doc Mock, as someone who's just wicked smart with huge old calf muscles, some like your journey, right? And just flying off the hip here. But speaking of surprises, what would you say was something maybe you prepared for going into fatherhood, but maybe the situation 180? What was a very good, pleasant surprise? Oh man, I was expecting to be in the trenches and this is actually way better than I thought. Do you have anything like that for you?
Yeah. So let me backpedal first and just say to the listeners out there that Jacky always talks about how smart I am. You all know that I feel exactly the same about him. And guess who I went to for advice when it came to prepare for having a kid? It wasn't my nerdy pediatrician friends out there. It was Jacky P, because he has raised one of the most amazing human beings on the face of the planet. And he just does it with ease and with total pizzazz. So I went to
Mock, stop. You're making me blush. Stop.
So now that I've got him all buttered up, I'll answer his question. I think sleep has been the biggest thing. So you talk to anybody and they're just like, oh, they're going to be crying. They're going to be up all night. You're going to be up all night. You're going to fight with your wife, all this sort of stuff. And none of that has proven to be true. And people just say, you have a good baby. This is a trick baby, blah, 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 all those things, that it's all the baby. But I would like to think that I have something to do with this. Number one, 50% of those genes are mine. And I know that for a fact because that kid looks exactly like me. But
he sure does.
Which I feel bad for the kid, but except for the calf muscles.
Also, I'm about to say, are those calf muscles coming in yet? I can't wait till he starts walking. Those things are just going to triple in size. It's going to be great.
That's right. But anyway, it's sleep, man. It's this kid has slept through the night since week 6. He wakes up with a giant smile on his face. I feel well rested. It's just been way easier from that perspective than I could have ever imagined. I'm not bragging, but I think that it's because we set up this environment where we were relaxed. And I think he just was kind of oh, well, they're fine, so I should be fine too. And he's just been kind of a chill, good sleeper kid.
That's awesome. And you know what? Congratulations, 6 weeks. That's got to be some sort of a record. That's incredible. We got to check the data. We got to see when the first kid was sleeping through the night. It's funny.
That first night was terrifying.
Sure.
You're I feel so. I'm so sorry to interrupt you too.
Yeah,
it's I feel so relaxed and oh my God, it's 6:30. Is he alive? Oh, and then he's just turns over and is smiling. It's
like, hey guys,
yeah, hey,
I'm hungry.
What's up?
Yeah. That's funny because we also I don't want to say lucked out, but also I think there was a lot of back to, I don't know, you could quote the episode about sleep hygiene, right? Yeah. Sleep hygiene is important. Yeah. And also, folks, disclaimer, obviously, I am not the authority on any of this stuff, but I'm just speaking from my experience. One thing, one thing a mentor of mine actually told me while Ash was pregnant, he said, when the baby's born, all your focus goes on the baby and you never, have time with your wife because you're becoming parents and you have this experience. And he told me, I mean, he had like 3 kids, they're all grown. So I figured like he's doing something right. And he told me, he said, listen, like sleep is important because if you're rested, she's rested, the baby's rested, everyone's just in a better mood. So I remember that and actually took this really great sleeping, like sleep training class. So we blacked out the windows and did everything and had the routine, very regimented routine. And Quinn was sleeping through the night. I wish I could say 6 weeks, that's incredible. But I want to say 3 to 4 months because
that's pretty good too.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it was pretty good. And he was a decent sleeper beforehand. And I can be a night owl. So, you know, we were okay. We kind of balance it out. But I think for me, knowing a lot of my peers who had a kid and they're going through it and they're like, oh, Mike, like we got 2 hours of sleep last night. Like in a regular environment, when you get no sleep and you have to function just as an adult, you're already cranky. But then you have to like be functional and no one got sleep and then you've got a crying baby.
Yeah.
And, you know, that is a recipe for some tumultuous times.
Yeah. And I think there's something that is visceral about that noise when a baby's crying that just like gets to the absolute root of your core, right? It's just like, I need to help this little thing. I don't know if I can. I need to figure out how to help it. Just something clicks inside of you. And I think that they played it at Guantanamo Bay to like drive the people there crazy, which that is an atrocity, all of that. But yeah, I think that there's something about that. And then add on the stress of not sleeping all night and then add on the daily stresses of life. You're right. That's just that's craziness.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So, I mean, I'm looking at the time. I don't want to spend too much time pontificating, but I on the flip side, best surprise, what would you say was like the biggest challenge that you did not see coming? Like something that you weren't thinking about it. And then you're like, holy moly, this is a thing.
Let me think about that. I mean, I think the like early feeding part could have been like a little bit tougher than I expected or a little more stressful. Maybe it's because of some of the people that were like around us. They seemed stressed, so that stressed us out a little bit. I think eventually, you know, that all clicked into place. But I think early on that was pretty stressful, is like getting nutrition to this child. And then I think figuring out like dynamics between family can be a little bit challenging as well. Like what family members step up, which family members don't step up. And some of that's predictable, but I think, you know, some things are like better than expected and some things are worse than expected in terms of that, in terms of family support. I think that like in America in the 1950s, we decided that it is up to this nuclear family, this mom and this dad, to take care of this child. It is totally their responsibility. They have to work. They have to do everything. They have to take care of this kid. We got away from like this communal concept, but versus like, if you look at other societies like Mayan people, for instance, they have a community of human beings that take care of the children in the neighborhood, and other kids take care of the kids. And I think that just helps to offload a lot of the stress, and it's better for the child, right? Like I think any person can get sick of being around any other person if you're around each other too much. And so being around other people and learning from them is really good for the parents and for the child, that space, that learning from other people. So yeah.
That's actually a really good point, because so Quinn, I don't know if he's official, but basically I think they're calling like the C generation, but the kids that were developmental around the COVID pandemic. And it's very interesting. One thing I learned from Quinn was you got to understand what you're saying to a toddler, because they're taking at face value. And Quinn was 1 in 2020. And for the following 2 years, you know, in Philly, things are crazy in Philly, right? Like in different parts of the country or world, different things. But in Philly, like our Lowe's had a tank outside of it with like armed guards for a year. So it was a different environment. Wow. So when we would go to the playground, you know, we don't know who's what, and we'll just tell Quinn, hey, there are too many friends here, let's back up, or let's play in this section. And we didn't think about it until, you know, much later. Quinn was going to school and he didn't play for like 3 months because he said there are too many friends. Like his brain developed like, oh, too many people means danger, and he didn't understand the context. And of course, he is way past it now, and he's like, you know, mayor of Philadelphia, basically. But it's just like, I think for me, like that was one of the challenges I don't think anyone expected the COVID challenge, but I think for me is before Quinn was born, I was like, oh, I want to be able to explain everything to Quinn no matter what. If I can't explain it to Quinn, then I don't really understand it myself. And that challenge of just being able to be, and probably is going to shoot me in the foot at some point, but like, I wanted to be like the source of truth. Like if he came to me outside of, myth, earmuffs, but outside of like the mythical creatures out there, right, that we all celebrate around holidays, right, which I agreed to. If he came to me, I wanted to have the answers. I wanted to be able to break it down to him, which also has been a fun challenge. It's been a very fun challenge of explaining. Well, he asked, where does wind come from? I'm like, dude, I don't know. We got to look this up together,
Wow.
And there's actually a very good 2-minute video on YouTube about how wind works, but then we both know how wind actually works. Quick question, Doc. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that's such a good learning point in general in life is exactly what you said, is like knowing your limitations, knowing when you need to seek a source out and look things up. And I think that you're instilling that in your child to be inquisitive, but seek the truth using something that's reputable. And I think that's something that we talk about here all the time on the show. And the fact that, you know your limitations, even though you're so smart, it's like, it's good to be at that point. I feel like the truly educated people are the ones that know that they don't know everything.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I agree too. I have a quick question. So everyone I talked to, when they left the hospital with their newborn, did you have like that feeling when you left, like, oh, you guys are just going to leave me with this? We're just going to let us leave with this baby? Like, did you have that like realization at all?
I mean, there are some times when I'm still like, I have a kid. What?
That hits me too, actually. 4 years later.
Just like, wait a minute, I have a child. But apart from that, was I like, oh, they're abandoning me with this thing? I don't know where, I haven't read the user manual. Like, I don't know. I just felt like it was going to be fine. Like people have been raising humans for thousands and thousands of years. Like, I think I'm going to be okay. And
that's fair.
And another thing that I realized that I did not expect was how truly wonderful and generous people are around the time that you have a child. Like the community of human beings, yourself included, of course, and Ashley included, Quinn included, like the number of human beings that just support you in these moments, it's just like really amazing. And that people just come out of nowhere. People you haven't talked to for years, and they're just like, please let me help you. Let me know what else I can do for you. It's just amazing,
Yeah, I can second that. I would say there are people, when Quinn was born, I don't think Ash and I had to worry about what we were cooking for dinner probably for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like the school where Ashley taught, they all like had a spreadsheet. People were covering dinner for each night or sending. I was just like, wow, like back to the whole community thing, right? It was like, oh, these folks got our back, which is fantastic. Okay, so got 2 more minutes, so I want to get to Sham or Graham because that's always fun.
Sham or Graham.
So
we're working on the jingle.
Yeah, Sham or Graham. Anyone out there musically inclined, please help.
Yeah, please send us
some jingle tunes.
Yeah.
So what would you say, DocMok? What would you tell someone right now, an expected father? Like what would be like one, if you had a boiled down tip for like a expecting father, like what would you say to them right now if they're listening?
I would tell them, just relax. It's going to be okay. I really would. I think that's the resounding issue, is just if you're relaxed, your spouse will be relaxed, especially as the guy in the one person and that's not having the baby in the relationship, I should say. Your person that's having the baby is going to be relying on you, right? Because they're going to be physically, having to heal from the process of delivering another human being into this world. And I think if you remain calm, you can be calm for that person, you can be calm for the baby, and the baby, I think, and everybody else will just absorb that, and it goes well. I think it's when people get tense that it just kind of like that tense environment is not good for anybody. And there are two resources, and we're not getting paid by them, that I really thought were helpful. I think there's a course by a woman who's a nurse called Taking Cara with a CARA Babies. That course was worth its weight in gold in terms of sleep training your baby. And then the book, Bringing Up Bebe, is just like, such a great resource, written by a sociologist, I believe. And, it's just about a different perspective on how to raise your child. I think that was exceptionally helpful. So,
wow. Great points. Docmok, you wicked smart, I tell you. And also, back to what you said, calm down, it'll be all right. I like to shout out, actually, RN Graham, because when Ashley was expecting, I was like, man, like, we agreed already that Ashley was going to be staying home at least 2 years. So I was going to be the primary breadwinner. I was just starting building my practice. So, my income wasn't there. And I was like, man, I was like, a little bit of, not, I wouldn't say freaking out, but I was like, man, I got to like get together. And one thing, Aaron Graham's like, dude, you'll be fine. Like literally, like, and the way he said it was like so just like calming, like, you know what, you're right. Aaron Graham has 2 awesome kids. And I was like, man, like, he knows me. So he was like, dude, you'll be fine. Yeah. So I concur. And I would say, I actually have a tip, folks. I would say, speaking of Colin and turning over while napping, I would say to people is, don't focus on the next milestone or the next step, because you can't wait till they're out of diapers. You can't wait till they're off the bottle. You can't wait until they're eating solid foods. Can't wait until they're walking. And then one day you're going to see a video of them just, or a picture of you holding your little newborn on your shoulder, perched up on your shoulder. And you're like, oh my, like, what would I give right now just to have one night of just feeding Quinn? It's just me and him middle of the night in his rocking chair. And he's just like snuggled up in my little ear, and I could just like smell his baby breath, that milky baby breath, So time will take care of all those milestones. So don't worry about it.
And enjoy them, and I feel like there are so many days when I've said what you said to me, which is just every moment is the best moment.
Yeah.
It's that moment that you're experiencing was great. The prior moment that you had, all those memories that you have are great. And all the things in the future are wonderful. It's just a great experience if you embrace it, if you're one of those parents that shows up,
Cool. All right. So I think to make a clean break, we should are we taking a break? We should take a break and then come back for Sham or Graham. All right, folks. We'll be back with some Sham or Graham.
Sham or Graham.
Boom, boom.
Are you a healthcare practitioner searching for a comprehensive solution to streamline your patient referrals and improve collaboration with other practitioners? Look no further than Rupa Health, the ultimate platform for integrative and functional medicine practitioners. As a healthcare practitioner, I've struggled with the traditional referral process for labs. It's time-consuming, inefficient, and often lacks the necessary communication between providers and patients. But ever since I started using Rupa Health, everything has changed. That's right, Rupa Health is revolutionizing the way that practitioners connect and order lab work with their patients. Their advanced platform allows you to effortlessly send and receive patient lab referrals and secure their information, sending them the kits directly. This makes the communication directly with other patients and practitioners easy to take care of. I can't stress enough how much time and energy Rupa Health has saved me. With just a few clicks, I can easily order lab work and track their progress, and then I receive the results directly into my inbox, which I can send to the patients automatically with recommendations. Absolutely, Rupa Health's extensive network of lab testing and curated, integrated, and functional medicine testing allows practitioners to receive the highest quality of care and dedicate their practice to a patient-centered, holistic approach which aligns perfectly with the values of healthcare in a functional medicine practice. Plus, Rupa Health provides you with excellent customer support. Their team is responsive, knowledgeable, and always helps with assistance in billing questions and how kits are shipped to your patients. They are dedicated to helping practitioners like us provide the best possible care for our patients. And if you're a patient listening, it allows you to seamlessly order your lab testing and receive all of the necessary information. Rupa Health has been a game changer for my practice, and as you know, it will be for yours too. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to save on lab testing by heading to labs.rupahealth, that's rupa.com/store/storefront_ V is in Victory, G is in Grape, X 00400. That's labs.rupahealth.com/store/storefront_ V is in Victory, G is in Grape, X 0040. I'll see you later, Maximal Beings.
All right. Thank you for coming back. All right, folks, the Father's Day half of the episode is over. Time for some shamagram. So, as always, I'm going to say some names of these videos. Also, everyone listening, we haven't watched these videos, so we don't know what they have. Okay, so I'm just gonna start reading names, and you just tell me when to stop.
And we're also not trying to disparage anybody out there or be negative. We're just trying to ensure that science is held true.
Exactly. And also, we're back to before the break. I always encourage Quinn to ask questions. When he asks me something, I ask him what he thinks first to see where he's at. So this is just encouraging you all out there. When you see something online or on the internet, ask questions.
That's right.
All right. So in no particular order, we've got, speaking of sleep training, Ancient Bedtime Secret. We have...
And this isn't a sex thing, right? This is.
I don't know. What was it? Sex juice? What was the last one?
Yeah, that's right. I think he had a more vulgar name for it, which is escaping me. But
yeah, we gotta go back and review. We've got one that just says Uncontrollable Hunger. Sounds like Quinn in the morning. We have Big Pharma, Big Food.
Ooh,
that sounds interesting. Yeah. I like people who are like, let's go for Big Pharma, Big Food. I feel like that grabbed my attention. So
conspiracy coming our way, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Although we had an episode by somebody that worked for Big Food and told us some of their secrets, which was really interesting to learn about.
All right.
Belly fat, these skin tags, skin pigmentation, this buffalo hump, or water retention, this video could save your life. The foods that you're currently eating are controlled by 10 food companies. These food companies like PepsiCo also own Quaker, Fritos, and Lay's. These food companies make their products with added sugars, added salts, and other ingredients to make them more addictive than nicotine. By making these foods addictive, what it causes your body to do to be in a constant cycle of making the hormone insulin, causing your cells to resist that insulin, which causes you to store more and more body fat and leaves you feeling tired and hungry. This causes you to eat more and more of this food, and this process continues and continues. The insulin resistance that you develop is linked to almost every single disease that we see in modern day, such as prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. The reason they do this is because Big Food works directly with Big Pharma, an industry worth over $1 trillion. Big Pharma funds Big Food, with the FDA even receiving payments from Big Pharma. So basically, Big Pharma pays Big Food to make you sick. I'm running out of time, so follow me for part 2, where I'll teach you exactly how to overcome this deadly system.
Ooh.
Eat real food.
This deadly system. Yeah, I have a very simple thing. I think everyone's heard. If it's a carrot,
eat a carrot.
Eat a carrot. Big carrot. I don't think big carrots in the pockets of Big Pharma.
Big carrot sponsored that video.
Yeah.
I think Cool Jake run by Big Carrot.
I mean,
that's what I think.
I feel it was a little bit tinfoil hat for me. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things. There was a lot going on in that video.
Yeah, I think I appreciate the low budget aspect.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for utilizing the resources that you have. We all need to know where we are. I think there's some truth in there, Jacky, like the basic link between processed foods and insulin resistance and the consequences of insulin resistance are certainly sound. I mean, we're talking most conditions have some link to insulin resistance. I think the basic understanding of what insulin resistance is good at a macroscopic level. There's way more granularity there in terms of signaling for, PIK3 and adiponectin and ghrelin and leptin, hunger hormone, and satiety hormones. But I think the message is good, Jacky P. As far as the last step there, he lost me a little bit. He might be right. I do believe that the FDA gets some funding from pharmaceutical companies, but I didn't necessarily catch the link between pharmaceutical companies and big food. Although, as we talked about on our episode, back where we were talking to a famous author who, worked for big food, and essentially, they do dial into these innate mechanisms that we have within our reptilian brain to constantly look for food, right? We're constantly thinking that we're going to be in a cave and it's the ice age, and we need to get that woolly mammoth and store up all that fat in our body, and we'll never see food for thousands and thousands, or for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? I don't think that I think that he missed some steps, but I think that he definitely hit on a few of those very important points there. So, it's just another thing, Jacky, where I don't know what the credentials of this person are. They obviously have some sort of background in science. I get the sense that maybe they're a trainer or something like that, so they understand a little bit. But again, just like we talked about on our prior Sham or Graham, it's like if you don't get the biochemistry, you don't see the microscopic, and if you don't understand the clinical side, you don't really see the macroscopic. So you need to understand both. You need to have both of those things walking into a bar and having the conversation.
Oh, nice. Was that a dad joke? That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Hey.
I agree. And also for me, just thinking about let me back up. I love a good conspiracy theory. I like the hope of conspiracy theories that like people in all spectrums have this belief that such wild things can happen. This is definitely a more realistic conspiracy theory. But I think the bigger question here for me is, I'm more concerned, I don't know how true it is, right? That only, like 10 or 11 different companies own all the food that's being made out there. Like, can we talk about that? We should be supporting more localized food, because then I'll also solve the problem of, whatever you was talking about, FDA being paid off by big food and big pharma and all that stuff.
Right. So
that kind of scared me more than anything. Like, okay, we should mix it up a bit. Like let's localize our food options. Of course, in this country is difficult because of how we've evolved and industrial farming and everything, but also the simpler answer, besides being caught in this deadly cycle, he said, which I give him credit for the theatrics.
Yeah.
Just eat real food. I mean,
I mean, yeah, and that umbrella that he is talking about is all processed food, right? Yeah. It's like, so if you're only eating processed food, of course you're going to definitely have that processed food be owned by some parent company, right? But if you get out of that system, that is the answer, right? Just eat local and eat real food and eat enough, right? Yeah. If you're getting farm fresh produce or growing your own food, like you know where that comes from, and you fall out of that cycle. But yes, like big food certainly is good at making cheap, calorically dense, nutrient poor products, because it's cheaper to make that, and you feed a lot of people. But that's how we ended up where we are now, is with that. But the last step, he lost me. And sorry, Jacky, but it's like, from a sure perspective of writing a thesis, right? This guy is formulating a hypothesis, and he's getting background information, and he made a good conclusion based upon that. But then he just decided to have a secondary conclusion without any founding data, other than some random article that he's showing us a vague picture of. So Just stick to your own conclusions based upon the hypothesis that you have generated.
Boom.
Boom.
That, and I would say also just, I think most folks know this or not, but the food companies out there that are processing these things, they are not really concerned about your health. So I think it's a good way to start to think, oh, if something says light or low fat or low sugar or whatever, they're just trying to dial into that part of you that wants to be healthier, but they're not really concerned. They're just trying to move product. So just remember that, right? And if it's a carrot, eat a carrot.
Yeah, Jacky P, the weirdest food product that's quote unquote healthy that I can think of is fat-free yogurt. Like, how on earth can you have a dairy product without fat in it and be an actual yogurt? There's no way that occurs in nature. So do not eat that. It is not good for you. Just put the fat in the yogurt.
Yeah. And also fat is good, folks. Fat is good.
Fat is not bad. Fat is not bad. And you get some protein with 2% or full fat yogurt.
All right. So this next one is called Saunas. And I want it to be right. I want it to be like, yes, this is good information. Like, I feel like
I like saunas. I like them.
I like saunas as well. So I hope this is
not Sham.
This is not Sham.
Sham
I'm
or
hoping.
Graham.
Sham or Graham. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah. The edit's a little bit off here, but all right, let's go here.
Believe it or not, saunas just in the last year have started using.
Okay, so Tony Robbins coming in hot. I have this.
Tony Robbins has been pushing this. He had health issues. He learned some stuff. He's smart and has a big voice. He's tall. So now he's got a voice in the health world. Yeah. So that's the backstory.
Yeah. And also I would say keep mind the source of the page that's putting out these things, right? It's Sun Home Saunas. I don't know what they do, but perhaps they're selling saunas. You don't know. I don't know. Or maybe there's really love saunas. But all right, Tony Robbins, what do you got for us?
Believe it or not, saunas just in the last year have started using saunas. They've seen a huge change. There's so much research on it. 4 days a week in the sauna for just 20 minutes at 160 degrees plus, whether it's a laser type sauna, red sauna going in, or a traditional one, will absolutely change your health in more ways you can imagine. Like people that don't really work out, I can get them to do this now. And they can just go sit in the sauna. But what happens, it reduces your chance of a heart attack by over 51%.
I read that, yeah. Wow.
It reduces your chance of a stroke by 62%.
So there are benefits of saunas.
Yeah.
But let's not get overboard.
Right. Right. So this is another example of where somebody's focusing in on this and not connecting the big picture. So sitting in a sauna, what does it do to the human body? It heats up our internal temperature, which forces our body to cause cooling down of our internal organs and regulation. We call that homeostasis, or getting to, our center point, our set point. This set point changes and during certain times in our life, right? So while you sleep, the set point changes slightly. If you're sick, a virus, so let's say COVID-19, can change that set point. And our bodies actually sometimes will go above our set point in a means of protecting our body, trying to get rid of the pathogen that is infecting us. That's why you get fevers and so forth. And so sitting in a sauna of 150 degrees or so absolutely will trigger this homeostatic mechanism. How do we dissipate heat? You can do it several ways, either through movement of air, which Quinn understands fully at this point, which is pretty cool. You can add water into the situation. So there's steam saunas. There are also those saunas where you put water onto rocks, cause steam to occur. And then we sweat, right? Sweating is another big way that we are able to dissipate heat because we're cooling our skin, which is where the heat interacts with on the first part. So we're kind of creating a protective mechanism. So we're sweating. And when you sweat, one of the main reasons why we do that, in addition to things like going to the bathroom, peeing and pooping, is the elimination of bad things, waste products from our body. So we do that with sweating. So sweating and sitting in a sauna is really good at doing that. It is really good at
eliminating toxins from our body. So those of us that do functional medicine utilize that as a way for people that have toxin exposure of stimulating, our body's natural means of eliminating these toxins. And we stimulate some of the other systems too, Jack, without getting too deep into details.
Yeah, in the weeds.
There are studies that have been done, and we talked about this actually. We did an episode on cold thermogenesis, if you remember. This is what Jacky P, when you were going out on your roof and doing push-ups, like total badass.
Just getting after it, no big deal.
Yeah. And I had a sauna in Cleveland because it was cold there. We don't really, you just walk outside, you have the same effect here in Florida. But this study was done, I believe, in Belgium, and they randomized people to either normal temperature exposure every day for a period of several months, or sitting in a sauna for a period of about 15 minutes at a temperature of around 150 degrees. Now, they did see lower levels of stress in these people. They actually did see a reduction in cardiovascular risk. And I think that the extrapolation to the risk of stroke is probably based upon those data. However, does that apply to all of us? Not necessarily. And the insinuation that you don't ever have to exercise and you can just sit in a sauna does not necessarily correlate. Yes, you are getting that same effect of eliminating toxins and stimulating blood flow, which does have cardiovascular benefit, but you're neglecting all of the other things that could potentially benefit that you get with exercise, such as, heart rate variability, improvement in sleep, hormone regulation, improved muscle fitness, which is so very, very important, especially as we age, with our ability to sustain movement and not have an injury. Most injuries and deaths that occur in older age are either due to something catastrophic or something that is musculoskeletal, like a fall. And so, insinuating that sauna is good, absolutely. It does reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease and probably stroke. It does eliminate toxins, and there is good scientific evidence, but does it supplant exercise? Absolutely not.
Wow. Docmok, you're just so smart. I don't think people understand what's happening. We are watching videos. We don't know what they contain. Typically we have a host who know what they're going to talk about. Maybe we do research, maybe we don't. But Doc is just pulling this stuff from his big old brain. It's just, I'm just impressed. I don't know. It just doesn't get old to me. It just really doesn't.
And I actually found that the citation was from the British Medical Journal in 2018. That was where the studies on sauna came from. So
there it is. And also, folks, if someone is an expert in one thing, doesn't make them an expert in all things.
And just because you're tall doesn't mean you're right about everything, Jacky.
Exactly. Well,
us short people,
unless it's me.
Stuff too.
You sound like my business partner now. Everything I do, it's because I'm tall. I could get away with it. But yeah. So Tony Robbins, I like some of your stuff, but stop telling people to not exercise. Saunas are great too, but have it part of an encompassing plan. Yeah.
Are you looking for high-quality, evidence-based supplements to support your functional medicine practice? Look no further than FullScript, the leading platform for healthcare practitioners to prescribe and order professional-grade supplements. As a functional medicine and gastroenterology doctor, I trust FullScript to provide me with a wide range of high-quality supplements that meet specific needs of my patients. Their extensive product catalog includes trusted brands, ensuring that I have access to the best options for my patients' health. That's right, FullScript offers a comprehensive selection of supplements, including vitamins, minerals, botanicals, and specialty formulations, all sourced from reputable manufacturers. Plus, their rigorous quality control ensures that you're getting products that meet the highest quality standards of purity and potency. And what I love most about FullScript is the convenience it offers. With their user-friendly online platform, I can easily browse, prescribe, and manage supplement protocols for my patients. It saves me valuable time and streamlines the ordering process. Absolutely, FullScript makes it easy to create customized protocols for your patients and track their progress. Plus, they handle all the logistics from inventory management to shipping, so you can focus on what matters most, providing excellent care to your patients. So if you're ready to take your functional medicine practice or wellness to the next level, visit us.fullscript.com/welcome/maximalbeing. That's us.fullscript.com/welcome/maximalbeing to receive your 15% discount on customized supplements and check Maximal Being standardized protocols for gut health. FullScript has been a game changer for my practice, and I know it will be for yours. Don't miss out on this incredible resource for functional medicine practitioners and patients alike today.
All right, so this one is called, I had to click on it, Uncontrollable Hunger, just because I don't know where they're going with it. And I think
I experienced it. Yeah.
Yeah, I want it. I want it to be right. I want it to be right so bad.
This guy looks angry though.
Yeah, he does. Maybe hopefully it's like just a bad pause here. But all right. Uncontrollable hunger. Here we go.
A really good hack for uncontrollable hunger, and it works every time, is resistance starch. Let's say that you have hyperphagia. You're eating just way too much at night. You're like, I can't stop eating. What you do is in the morning, in the AM, you can literally reset the body's circadian clock, and you can do it in one meal. Basically, what you do is you have like a baked potato, really big one, okay? Heat it, cool it, put some butter on it, have a couple of eggs with that, maybe 6 ounces of steak, and then 30,000 IUs of vitamin D. Have that all at once. And then that fermentable fiber combined with the protein and the vitamin D just knocks the hunger right out, like all at once. It's from the fermentable fiber interacting with vitamin D in the gut and just reroutes your hunger signaling immediately. And it's easy to prove. So I just say, go try it.
All right.
Oh boy.
Also, why was the editing so aggressive? Why was it cutting every two? It made my brain hurt.
Yeah. I was sitting on a plane not too long ago and watching this guy intermittently as I was doing other things scroll through TikTok videos so angrily. He was so mad at his little computer. He was just like, and all he was just watching is this propaganda aggressive stuff the whole time and just so mad the whole plane ride. I just felt so bad for him, you know?
Yeah. And also another thing, and I know this is going to be very counterintuitive, but we always challenge people to challenge us. If someone's on a podcast, it doesn't mean
that's right. Shamagram us. I dare you.
Yeah, Shamagram us. Keep us accountable. Okay. Yeah. But honestly, I'm a skeptic. I think this guy is recording himself and just doing these weird choppy edits to look like he's on. And he's just like in his garage talking to himself and just putting out content. But that's just Jacky being a skeptic hater. But
I looked him up just to see, does he have credentials that would allow me to believe these claims? And I did not find any scientific papers that were published on PubMed. He appears to be a CEO of a certain company. So that's great. That's wonderful. But I do not think he understands the science of ghrelin. Right. So 2 hormones control hunger and satiety. So our feelings of fullness. Leptin tells us we're full. Ghrelin tells us we're hungry. We have talked about on our intermittent fasting episode way long ago that ghrelin downregulates over the period of essentially 4 to 7 days. This is done, a lot of it's by Jason Fung, who published, one of the initial books and has done extensive research as a nephrologist and scientist on intermittent fasting and tracked ghrelin levels over time. And that is what the physiologic data shows. Absolutely, vitamin D has an impact on our cortisol and our hormonal signaling. It can somewhat impact ghrelin. Vitamin D is going to be recharacterized as a hormone one of these days coming up soon because it crosses through the blood-brain barrier. And it's so easy to get, right? You can get it by sitting outside, fully exposed, 10 minutes, you get 20,000 units of vitamin D. And linked to all kinds of improved health outcomes. However, the insinuation that eating bread sometime overnight, your body's magically going to downregulate your ghrelin levels, absolutely not true. And your hunger mechanism is so much more complex than that, and even than I'm making it to. And there's such a psychological component to hunger. And those of us, Jacky P, you and I have both done this, that have done intermittent fasting, know that the first few weeks where you're doing it are the hardest because that psychological part and that physiologic part need to regulate back to that steady state. So when you train your body for years that food's coming at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, it's going to take time to undo that. And you cannot undo it overnight. That is just physiologically impossible. Show me the data and not what one person does sitting in their basement.
And also, no disrespect to this guy. I'm sure he's cool. I'm sure he's cool and fun and have a beer, but I don't know, like it seemed like just in his brain, just having a big breakfast, because he said a lot of food, like 6 eggs and, you know, and then also he snapped like, yeah, reset your circadian rhythm like that. I'm like, that's not how that works.
Right.
It's just not like a flip of a switch, like, oh yeah, I had a big breakfast, so all of a sudden my entire system is changed now.
No, it doesn't work that way. And I mean, that devalues sleep science, it devalues hormone science and bariatric medicine and gastroenterology, my field. So this is a clickbait video. And so the other ones, you know, were a lot better than that. I think we ended this episode with a good one, but at least hopefully the listeners out there, you know, hunger does have a psychological component. It is not your willpower, but it is just your body is trained to do that. You can regulate that with intermittent fasting. There's good evidence to support that. It takes time to get over that, but if you give it time, it can work. And people are just desperate. People want to have an easy fix and they want to lose weight, but it doesn't work that way. You know, it takes time to have these things inform sustainable habits that are right for you. And the thing that works for this guy probably does not work for you because you don't come from the part of the planet that he comes from, and you don't have the same microbiome that he has, and you weren't raised the same way, and you don't have the same monetary resources, yada, yada, yada. So,
and I dare say it doesn't work for him either, but hey,
but maybe Botox does work. Yeah, maybe Botox.
Yeah. All right. So we have just time for one more. This one is called Ancient Bedtime Secret. And I like it because everyone loves ancient things. And yeah, there's some ancient things that's been around. You know, it's cool. Like, wow, ancient secrets, but I don't know. We'll see. And
I can't wait where we're gonna go.
Also, I want this to be good. I want us to be like, oh yeah, you know what? Yes, check. People should listen to this.
It's also could be like a horror movie title or something, like Ancient Bedtime Secret.
Yeah,
just like somebody's peering over you at night.
It's 51 seconds too, which means there's going to be a lot to digest. So, here we go.
Everyone is freaking out about this. It was even
featured
on the news. All right, and it's called this Ancient Bedtime Secret that no one talks about. All right. Now it's this odd thing you do every single night before bed, and it literally makes you shed weight like crazy. My mom gave it a try, and check this out. That's my mom 7 months ago. That's her today. Right? She lost 76 pounds just from following this bedtime secret every single night.
Sure, that's awesome.
It was even featured on the news, but they took it down because they know it reveals the secrets about the weight loss industry. I have the exact video where my mom learned this. I'm going to stick that link down below for you guys. Check it out. I'm urging you to watch it because they always take this video down because they know it is exposing the lies of the weight loss industry. Check it out today, everyone.
That was awesome. I thought it was going to be like a joke. I thought it was going to be like a fake, like I thought that was going to be a parody, but that was legitimately, it's not a parody. It's not a parody. And I think it's
to put that on the internet.
I like they start like, everyone is freaking out. I was like, okay.
This is my mom. This is my mom. Look at her. Yeah. Look at my mom.
She lost 76 pounds drinking this pink lemonade.
The next video is like he walks into her while she's trying to make her breakfast. I told you not to come in here. Get out of here. I don't even know what to say about that one.
I think the entertainment value is for sure there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a mystery. He didn't say what was in the drink.
We'll never know.
It looks refreshing.
It looks ancient.
Yeah, it's just ancient secret. I don't know.
It makes you turn from a picture of one person to a picture of a completely different person.
Yeah. You become a completely different person, literally.
Oh, that's good. Well, we'll never know, ladies and gentlemen. We'll never know. It wasn't a carrot.
Yeah, it wasn't
Not
a carrot.
No. It was a pink drink, something pink.
It looked like pink lemonade. And I would say the person in me who loves pink lemonade was like, that looks quite refreshing.
Definitely pink lemonade.
But also, I'm going to take this one, Doc. I'll take this one, Doc. If anyone tells you to drink something and they tell you you're going to shed pounds, one, think how are those pounds are going to come off your body or out of your body, okay? For better or worse. That's the first thing. And two, perhaps, back to asking questions, you might want to know what's in this drink. It may look refreshing, like delicious pink lemonade, but you don't know what's in the drink, especially if it's ancient. If it's ancient, right? Like
it may just be a laxative.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't that be exciting at work?
Yeah. So yeah, you might have lost 76 pounds, but congrats, you have a whole nother plate of problems to deal with.
Now, Jacky P, from a financial standpoint, does it make sense to pay money to put that on Instagram? To give up to put your mom's house, get a second mortgage on your mom's house to sell this product?
It is not. No, it is not. It is not good sense. Honestly, that video was more entertaining than it was anything else. So we'll give them points for entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I was waiting for some sort of a SNL parody moment. Like, yeah. Don't drink mystery things off. Don't drink mystery drinks off the internet, folks.
No, no, don't do that.
Yeah. I don't.
And if you do, just sweat it out in a sauna.
Yeah,
you'll eventually get rid of it.
Yeah. Can you imagine if someone drank that ancient drink and saunaed like 20 rounds?
Wow.
Wow.
Lose so much weight.
Yeah. They'll be competing in the
Big Food would hate it.
All the pageants. Yeah. Get back at Big Pharma and Big Food and drink this pink lemonade.
Poop yourself in a sauna.
Go sit in a sauna. And because they're taking it down from the news because everyone's going crazy and they don't want to reveal the secrets.
The ancient secrets.
That was also a little tinfoil hat. Yeah. Like the ancient secrets. And I like the marketing gimmick of like, oh, this is a secret because people are going wild out there. They can't handle the
Taking
truth.
It off of the news.
This drink, this half-filled cup of pink lemonade.
I wonder which news channel he's listening to.
I don't know.
Axios.
Axios. Okay, so that one
purely entertaining. Was entertaining. I had a good time.
That was good. I feel like I want one more. I feel like
okay. All right, let's do it. Why not?
We started a little late.
I'm not sure.
We're gonna go. Okay, so there's one here. It's called Sesame Seed Oil. Perhaps it's just a recipe, something delicious. All right, so sesame seed oil. I'll be honest, folks, I have lost hope. I don't know.
If he slathers it on his body, I'm out, man.
I'm about to say, I see it says on the bottom, my favorite lube, hands down, and I'm a little nervous.
Oh, boy.
Okay, here we go. Sesame seed oil. All right.
I'm often asked, what is the best lubrication, Jason, for slow lovemaking?
Oh.
I always recommend organic, cold pressed, toasted sesame seed oil for the win. This is an Ayurvedic hack. Fellas, this will keep the woman's pH balanced and healthy, and that should be a concern for you as well. The lubrication does not dry out like a KY jelly. It's got no chemicals like a KY jelly. You can heat this up. It feels good, warm or cold. And the lubrication and the protection that it gives both partners so they can have a great time together. Nothing beats cold pressed, organic, toasted sesame seed oil. If you know, you know.
mean, 23,000 likes.
I don't want to know. Wow.
I mean, when we're talking smoke point of oils, I do not reach for sesame seed oil, and you want a high smoke point when we're talking about that.
Unless you intend to throw your partner on a skillet.
That's right.
I would say, of course, disclaimer, I'm not an expert, but perhaps leave the sesame oil for sauteing delicious recipes in the kitchen.
Yeah. And also the fact about a man commenting on the pH balance of a woman's vagina is just utterly ridiculous. I mean, it is a self-regulating, self-cleaning organ. Leave it alone and let it do its own thing. It's doing a good job. Whatever it's doing it correctly. It's
the vagina, of course, again, I'm not an expert, has been taking care of itself for eons. Right. I don't think this guy came around with sesame oil.
Yes.
And the vaginas across the world were like, oh, finally. Yeah. I've got some backup with my
thank God.
pH. Oh,
I mean, if you're going to reach for anything, you're going to reach for coconut oil, right?
Yeah.
It's semi-solid, semi-liquid, right? It does have a high smoke point. Very good for cooking with because of the high smoke point. Yeah. It is very natural. But it is very obvious based on this particular video that this guy was paid by the Sesame Seed Oil company for something.
Big Sesame paid him for sure.
Big Sesame.
He's in the pockets of Big Sesame.
Definitely. Slash Big Pharma.
Big Pharma and Big Food. Also, shout out to Ayurvedic. He said Ayurvedic, right?
It. Yeah, that's right.
Dr. Gupta, Dr. Shivani Gupta, right? Our last guest.
She did not teach us about that secret.
Yeah, we might have to bring her back.
We're gonna have to ask her about that one.
So let's talk about sesame oil.
Gupta, if you're listening, please let us know. Please chime in.
Yeah. Oh wow.
This has been delightful, Jacky P. I've had a good time.
I had a great time, and also I just love what the inner person in me that is a big fan of Reddit and just the raw purity of the internet is a little bit happy that these things are online because it's entertaining, right? But then like the Jacky, who's one in real life a fiduciary, the layman, and like know the power of people who just believe everything on the internet, is scared that these things are online.
There's somebody out there listening to this with their mom, drinking a pink beverage
at a sauna,
pooping themselves in a sauna.
Oh man!
Jacky P, we laughed, we cried.
Yeah, it was the best of times. It was the worst.
We lubricated.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we did all the things. This is delightful. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
As always, I'm DocMok. I'm here with Jacky P. If you've not done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at team@maximalbeing.com. If any of you want to sham or gram us or correct anything that I'm saying, please, we are receptive to it. So go ahead and shoot us that email. Jacky P, I'm making a ton of content. So there's some really exciting scientific content, breaking it down for normal people, for scientists, that I am producing right now. So stay tuned for that over the next several months. And Jacky P, I'm excited to continue to learn so much from you as a dad as I go through my journey as a dad. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day, folks.
Happy Father's Day.
The content included is not intended to be used as medical advice, and viewers should consult their physician or healthcare provider should they have additional questions. The viewers should not rely on information contained in these presentations for immediate or urgent medical needs. Additionally, if you think you have a medical emergency, call your physician or go to the emergency department or call 911 immediately. Never disregard professional medical advice or rely on seeking medical care or delay medical care due to information contained in this presentation.
What's going on, Maximal Beings? DocMok here. If you haven't done so already, leave us a comment and hit the subscribe button. Let your friends and family know. That way we can get the word out and continue to bash the bro science.